gosh, I hope you're doing great. If not, I send you blessings, and hugs and kisses. So look, I'm doing my vlog from my house this time. This is my car! Okay, so look. I have something interesting to tell you. There's a lot that you don't know. There's a lot that I don't know. Anyway, so objects in mirror are closer than they appear. Okay, the reason I say that is that things aren't always what they seem. I'm going to give you a colossal example of this. So, during my lunch hour, this is not recently, okay? So, I don't want to blow the story. But, on my lunch hour, on a Friday, I went to the bank to cash my check. No big deal, right? I'm just going to the bank to cash my check. It was pouring rain like it is now. Well, it's not pouring right now, it's raining. It was pouring cats and dogs. You know, that kind of rain that looks like it looks like a curtain. Like you almost can't see through it. It is raining so hard. Lots of thick rain. So anyway, I'm coming out of the bank. It's funny because during my lunch hour, I had picked my sister up so we can have lunch together. But I wanted to cash my check first. So she was in the car waiting for me. I parked in the parking lot there. Went across, and by the time I got in there, the skies opened up. It was pouring rain. So it was just me. I had this little tiny little tiny purse. Sorry, I'm still trying to. I'm mostly over the flu, but I have some residual stuff. My voice isn't right either. My voice is like all messed up. But, so, I'm standing at the door of the bank. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to have to make a run for the car. And I cannot believe that I'm going to be absolutely drenched. It was one of those rains that even if you had an umbrella, you'd be toast. Okay, you'd get soaked just trying to close the umbrella to get in the car. So I had this little tiny purse, and I had my little tiny purse, and I ran out of the bank, and I had my purse like this, like on my head, and as if that was gonna do anything. I don't know. That was like dumb, but I was running with my little purse on my head, and it had a big, long, fat like sidewalk. And as I was running up to the curb, I was hoping there were no cars coming so I could just bolt to the car and just get less drenched. I don't know if that's possible. So I was looking at as I was getting to the curb, I noticed there was a car coming from my left, and there was a car pulling out of the parking lot coming like this way. They were both like to my left side. And so as I'm running up, I'm like, I'm not going to have time. I can't cross. There's stupid cars coming. What have your parents always told you? Come on, you know what I'm going to say. Never run while you're crossing the street. Never run. Well, what do? The opposite. So, my mother wasn't standing there to say, now, don't run. So I stopped and I saw the cars. Well, both cars stopped. Wasn't that nice of him? The one coming this way, he stopped. And the other one coming this way, he stopped. And as I ran up and stopped at the curb, they both stopped at the same time. We all stopped at the same time. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, they are so nice. That is so sweet. They're going to let me go. I was happy. So then this all happens within the same millisecond, okay? So I lurch off the curb, and I start sprinting in my work heels. I was dressed all in like practically white. It was like a beige, beige suit. And I started, I started running, and all of a sudden I heard this engine go. I'm like, and I'm running, and the rain's making all this commotion. Heavy rain is very noisy. So as I'm taking a couple of steps, and I hear a car go, ooh, and I'm like, well, there's only 2 cars in the vicinity, and they're to my left. And every millisecond that passed, I heard, like, not like, but like speeding up. I couldn't believe my ears. I'm like, what? So I took a couple of steps, and I started to run, and I hear, boom, and I look, and the car that was coming straight, that would have like passed in front of me, that stopped, he was in gear, and he was like hustling, and he was accelerating straight for me. I know how to pick him. So while I'm taking this last step, I look, first I heard the engine, so pay attention when you're a pedestrian. And I'm like, man, it sure sounds like that car is coming straight for me. And if it is, that's not good, because he was right there anyway, I look, and he's barreling straight toward me, and guess what? He doesn't see me. He doesn't even know I'm there. He just took off. And it's like, I'm going to get hit by this freaking car. I'm going to get hit by a car? Me? I'm getting hit by a car? This happens really fast. This is all while I'm taking one step. And every millisecond that passed, I'm like, I kept thinking I hear him go, ooh, like he'd see me, and his engine would kind of like downshift or something. But no, it was like, like he was just accelerating. And I'm like, well, okay, first of all, I'm running. First terrible idea. So now I'm in a situation, because I have momentum, and it's pouring rain, and the puddle's probably 2 inches thick in the road, in the parking lot road. I'm in heels. So he's going to run me over. So I have to do something. So I can't stop, because if I stop, I'm going to stop right in front of him, and he's going to plow right over me. So I can't stop, and I can't try to run faster, because he's coming too fast, and I'm in heels, and if I try to light it up and I slip, he's really going to run me over like a rag doll. I couldn't run to the right, because then he'd run me over from the back. So I only had one choice, and I thought this all through while it was happening. My only choice was I decided, consciously said, I'm getting hit by this. I have to let myself get hit by this car. But this is something that I hope, how can I say this? I was going to say, I hope it helps. I was going to say, I hope it helps somebody, but I hope no one's ever in this situation, okay? So I hope no one ever needs this information, but in case anyone out there that sees this should be in this situation, I was like, I'm not just going to let him plow over me, break my legs and turn him backwards, and, my intestines will be all wrapped, in his tires, because he obviously doesn't know I'm standing there. So I was like, try to jump over the car. So I used to do gymnastics, I used to do the vaulting horse. I'm like, try to vault over the car. So I was just taking a step with my right foot, when I realized he was just gonna run right into me. So while I took that step, I turned to the left, and I faced right toward him. Yeah, here he comes. Yeah, he's coming right at me. And and I didn't have time to think, oh my God, I'm gonna get hit by a car. I hope I don't get hurt. All you want to do is you want to survive with the least amount of damage possible. So I took one step. I kind of turned. I took one step toward the car, and I punched, and I planted both of my feet carefully because I was in work heels. And I punched, which is when you push off, like you're gonna jump. And so I punched, and I tried to throw my feet back behind me, like I was gonna do a front handspring over the car. And then I brought both my hands down, and I hit his hood as hard as I could. That rhymes. Poet didn't know it. Feature Longfellows. Anyway, while this is going on in fast motion, I go, well, if I go to hit the roof of his car and my hand slips, he's going to get me right here, and it's going to be bad. So I'm like, plant your hands down toward the front of the car so that I can push off a little bit and get some lift. That's what I did. I punched, and then here he comes. Whoo, here comes the car, and I kicked my feet back, and I slammed my hands down in his car. After I slammed my hands down, and he's still coming through, I'm like, I'm gonna splat onto his windshield like a bug, you know. I'm like, I'm gonna incur all kinds of injuries and be flopping all over the place. So I thought I also do martial arts, and I also know judo. So I thought, well, and this is all happening while it's happening. As I'm hitting the roof of the car, and I realized he didn't like try to stop or something. I'm like tucked into a tight ball, so I did this really tight tuck, you know, it's like the kind of tuck that you would do if you were going to try to do a forward roll or something. So I smashed the hood of his car, and then went like that, and then went into a really tight, tucked myself into a really tight ball, and then when I hit his windshield, I bounced up into the air, and I started twirling in the air. Then I came down on his trunk, and then landed on the ground, sitting like Indian style, drenched, going like, what just happened? Did I just get hit by a car? I'm so stupid, you know. I was fine. I have like 9 lives, like 900 lives, and all I got was a little tiny, there's more to the story, but I just got a little tiny mark on my shin. But I thought my leg was broken, because when a multi-ton vehicle slams into your shin, that hurts. So when I stopped rolling, and I ended up like landing sitting up like an Indian, and then all of a sudden the pain in my legs set in, and I was like, my leg is broken, and I started screaming like a tornado siren. It was bad. And I grabbed my leg, and I picked my leg up, and I held my leg like a baby, because I thought it was going to fall in pieces. I'm like, this is what a broken leg feels like, you know. And so people came, and, you know, they grabbed my arms, and then I went limping into the bank, you know, all scuffed up and everything. And we went inside, and I'm like, my leg, you know. I'm like, I know I'm going to see the bone, you know. I knew the bone was going to be sticking out, you know. So we pulled my pant leg up, and I had this little tiny scratch on my shin. I can't even cross the street without getting in trouble. Don't run when you cross the street. I don't care how old you are. Grown adult. Never run across the damn street. It's going to get you in trouble. Make sure it's clear, and make sure they can see you. So, that's it. That's the message of the day. Okay. Thanks for watching. That's my vlog for right now. Alright. I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Yeah! I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but I love you.